on to mask 2, and mask 2 is our algin, our peel-off mask. What we're going to do is we're going to mix the algin, which is our powder. This is 6 teaspoons or 2 tablespoons for easy math, easy measuring. You want to be very accurate with your measurements because this powder needs to be mixed with water, and it needs to be in a consistency that's easy to use, easy to spread. It's not going to be real runny on their face. So it's important to measure accurately your 6 teaspoons and then 6 teaspoons of water. And we're going to pour that together, and I'm going to just mix this until it's moistened, and I'll explain that to you. This sets up very quickly, but so you don't want to mix this ahead of time, very much ahead of when you're going to want to actually use this mask. It dries quickly and it gets like silicone rubber. So if you mix this too far in advance and let it sit in the dish, you would end up peeling it out like a little piece of silicone rubber. So I'm just mixing it till it's moistened. The second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add to our little compressed facial masks, and these are our compressed facial masks. They come 4 in a little bundle. This, believe it or not, is a facial mask. You're going to pop one out, you can put it into a little cup, and you're going to add to that 1½ teaspoons of your algin booster. We're using the algin booster for normal to dry skin. We also have an algin booster for normal to oily skin. Again, 1½ teaspoons. I've already pre-measured that out. I'm going to pop it over my my compressed mask, and you'll see that it actually will grow. It gets fat, and I'm not sure if you can appreciate that. I'll tip it so that you can see it. So what once started out looking like a Maalox tablet is now a mask that's quite large. What we're going to do with this is we're going to roll it open, and then there's 3 folds. 1, 2, and the third time is going to open this completely, so it is a facial mask. Trust me, this is kind of hard to do with gloves, but well worth it. You open this up, it's going to look like a face. It's complete with eyes, nose, and a mouth. You're going to apply this from chin to forehead. You're going to want to pick it up and just center it on her face. And you will see that this has little slits around the mask. This is here to make it so that it fits most faces. Beth has a small face, so we need to overlap it a bit so that we can make it fit snugly. I'm going to flip up the eyes. Again, you just want to work fairly quickly with this. This is now soaked with our wonderful mixture of our 5 antioxidants and additional ingredients to really drive in all those good ingredients, the antioxidants, the humectants, and many other ingredients that are going to really feed and hydrate her skin. Now I'm going to go back to my algin mixture, and I'm going to mix. Stirring quickly. You want to get this really nice and smooth. It's much like powdered sugar frosting. We've got our mixture mixed, and the perfect consistency is when you're able to pick some up and it doesn't drop off your spatula right away. So it has to be that nice thick consistency. When you start to apply this, you want to apply it from the edge of the mask inward, and that way you're not squeegeeing out any of the good ingredients that are in her mask. I usually start about 1/4 inch from the edge of the mask. And my reasoning for that is if there is any running, you can generally catch it before it ends up in her hair or on her cheeks, somewhere where it requires a little bit more cleanup. There's no danger if this gets on the skin, it's just a little bit harder cleanup. The reason that we're doing this is because as this mask dries, it is going to help push in all the good ingredients that are already on this mask of hers. You do need to work fairly quickly to get this on, as this alginate does dry quick. If it gets too thick, it ends up really being difficult to spread. So there's just a fine line to really get it on and do it nicely. It's a lot like decorating cupcakes or cake. There's nothing that's difficult about it. You don't have to get every little inch of this covered, but you do want to use up all of your mask. This gets easier and easier each time you do it. You want to just check and make sure there's really nothing running down. And then go back over any areas that you feel like you missed. Your client may say that this is also something that feels tingly when it's applied. I generally use warm water when I mix this up, and they'll say that yes, the mask does feel warm. That's just from the water. You could use tepid water if you wanted to. Now that you've got the mask on, this gives you an opportunity to do a little scalp massage if you wanted to. You could do a little hand massage, foot massage, but you have about 10 minutes of drying time. It's been about 10 minutes and our mask is nice and dry. To check this, you can actually take your finger and touch the mask, and you shouldn't be able to get any of the algin residual off. It's nice and dry and rubbery. So when we put it on, it was wet and shiny, much like fresh powdered sugar frosting would look if you were spreading it on a cupcake, and now it looks dull and opaque. We're going to grab it down on the chin area, and we're just going to lift it right off the face, and this looks like a rubber mask. We're going to discard that, and we're going to clean up any residual that might have gotten on your client's face. As this dries, it is just like Elmer's glue. It kind of rolls right off. So we're going to just clean up. You don't want to wash the whole face. You don't want to take off the residual because her face is nice and moist at this point, and we want all of those good ingredients to really soak into her skin. Anytime you do a clay mask, it's really pulling and purging the skin, detoxifying, but also drying the skin. And what we want to do is rehydrate, refeed the skin by putting on this mask to really drive in those good ingredients. You can see this just sort of rolls off, just much like Elmer's glue would roll off your finger if you got some on and it dried. If you have a fan going, you can leave the fan on. It's going to help to facilitate the drying. And we just really want that to all soak in. And then we're going to finish the treatment by applying some of our Down to Earth eye cream and follow that with our Down to Earth moisturizer.